Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Zooer, and I thought we might do something a little bit different today. To the usual PKing and skilling stuff. I know it's still quite early days in my channel's history, but I think this might be a little bit fun. We got the skills here, and basically I kind of want to rank them in order of hardest to easiest. You know, maybe like it's from a miner perspective, someone that kind of only has done mining for like 9 or 10 months in the last year. So maybe take it with a grain of salt how I do put these in order. Maybe you may have a little different. I'll try to not be as biased. I do have a couple of other tabs open up on the screen here to maybe help reference. Now, just listing out all the excuses now, so you know I don't get the backlash later. So I may revisit this when I get hooked into other skills later on in the year slash future. But I kind of just want to like judge. I guess there's a few criteria. So like I want to judge, you know, like XP rate per hour. You know, time it would take to gain a skill or gather the resources. So I've got a fair idea on what I think right now, what would be the hardest to easiest, but we're just gonna be a straight shooter and get straight into this, huh? So first off we have, and I will mention I pinched the emojis or icons, if you would, from Lord Jolt's website. And when I was counting them, I was like, 15. Pretty sure there's 18 skills. I was like, oh, of course, you know, defense, strength, and attack. And of course, there's no icons for that because the high scores do not show that skill. So I just went and pinched the old school RuneScape icons for this. For this, you know, we can't exclude melee, even though most of it is AFK. And if anyone knows me personally, I'm not a fan of AFK trading, and I will admit maybe I would like to dabble in it eventually, maybe, but that's neither here or there. So let's get into this here. So we have agility first. Now, agility is a funny one to me. Based off, it is, I guess, I don't know if like it's like a bottleneck upside down, like it's harder at the beginning and then it does become quite easier later on in the levels. I'm only level 52 in agility, like at my highest on any one of my accounts, so I don't have a really good idea of the wildy course in the higher levels, like what's the spell success rate. But I do believe, from what I've heard from the grapevine, that agility, you can gain quite a bit of XP per hour. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, you know, well, it's like, I think agility is probably a lot of people's like least favorite skills. Now, I'm not putting it like least favorite to what like favorite. This is kind of like what I think would be the hardest skill to gain. Now, not so much usefulness, because like obviously after a certain level it just becomes like no point in training. It's more of like a skill total thing. So we're kind of disregarding that. But agility, I think, would land, well, it's definitely, I don't think it'd be easy. I don't think easier, but I may swap and change these as I go, just because like I may see another and be like, well, that's maybe easier or harder than this skill. So I'm gonna put it, because I think the XP rate's high, and you can't judge the first 60 odd levels, or if even 70, because it's only like 1 mil XP out of the whole 13 mil if you do the whole experience. So I'm gonna put it at easy right now, just because I believe, and I could be wrong once I actually eventually do agility, the XP rate is quite high later on. it's quite an AFK skill. You just click, come back, 3-4 seconds later, click again. So I can't really judge it off like essentially like the 5% of the skill, because later on, because we're judging like 1 to 99, I think. So overall, I think agility would be quite easy because it's high XP. It's one of the higher XP per hour, I believe. Could be very wrong, but from my perspective as of now, is the XP is quite high. So I'm happy with easy there. Next up, we have attack. Obviously, one of these skills not shown on the high scores there, but AFK, so I guess that could be considered easy. But the XP rate, I don't believe is quite high. Slots are often fought over, so you can't always get the highest amount of XP per hour if you would. But I think moderate's probably fair, because I want to say, and I haven't done a lot of combat training to be honest, so I want to say like anywhere from 10 to 20k XP is what you'd be expecting for melee training, and this is probably going to be the same. But I might even just chuck these other ones in here too, because it's going to be virtually the same thing. I would say maybe in that order there. Strength is probably the most popular. Wait a minute, let's do that. Then attack, then defense. So I want to say based off of it's AFKable, but the XP rate per hour isn't super high, so it does take some time to still level. So I think that's fair to put in moderate for the time being. So next we have cooking. I've not done a lot of cooking, but it seems to be quite fast. I think I'm like level 65 cooking at any of my highest skills. And I guess compared to fishing, it seems to be a lot faster XP. I would imagine, I mean, it's like, how many actions is it? It's quite a few, like you're clicking your inventory or opening the inventory, clicking the food, like if you're just cooking fish, for example. Clicking the fish, clicking the range or the fire to burn. So I think the XP rate's probably pretty good. So I think it might be just under agility at this stage, because in my mind, I'm thinking like cooking might be like a 40k XP per hour type deal once you get into like the inner workings of it. Could be totally wrong. I think agility's around that too, to be honest, around that 40k once you get up there, but I'd love to be proven wrong, so do let me know. The experts in these fields be like, hey, you are totally off the mark. But for now, that's how I see it. We have crafting up next, so this is definitely going to be up here somewhere. And I'll tell you why, so I'll just pop that down there for a second. So if we head over to the crafting thing, now, again, it's one of those skills like agility, like once you get to a certain level, it's like, what's the point? But you can see here, like the highest person on the high scores is 88. And then, yeah, no real attempt for 99. Now, I kind of get the crafting deal, like you can go like the gold route making, I'm guessing like amulets, is that what people do? Black, which is quite a painful thing to do. I think it's like 800k plus black if you want to go that route, 99. I think there's other methods too, like battle staffs, cutting gems and stuff. But I think it is warranted, like, I don't know if it's quite in this category, but I'm going to put it there for now, because I believe it is, because you look at that and you think people aren't going for 99 because it's super hard to level, which I believe it is. Or is it because it's just once you get to 80, it's like, what's the point? Because I think the highest thing for crafting is like making dragonstone amulets. So like that may get promoted later in the list, but I think harder is like a fair thing. It wouldn't be anything less than that, I don't think. The next, moving on, we have the hit points. skill. Now, I don't know who I spoke to about this, but I do remember having a short conversation about like how long, like what would be the amount of hours to make it onto the first page of this. You can see Cooper up there at the top there with an insane amount of 16.5 million XP. Now, because I was like, I think I was speaking to someone about like, because obviously I come from the mining world. It was like 280 or 300 hours of mining to get on the first page of mining, and then we kind of, it was like crappy maths on it, but then we kind of worked out like what would it be to get onto the fighting, the hit points front page, and I think the time we worked out was almost triple, if not 4 times. So with that said, because it clearly, when you, anyone that trains combat, I think like the XP is like 1/3 or something of like strength attack, depending if you're not doing controlled training or whatever. So with that said, not super hard to gain, but the XP rate's quite low. I don't know like the maximum output. Like you can look over at the Chance Guild here for the day. I mean, Super Sun put in 70k. This is quite a good reference too. We might even check in on this for a few others. But you can see it's quite low. Like, I don't know how many hours they're spending on that. Maybe that's a good 10-hour grind. I don't know. Then you kind of compare it to anything else, like range. It's, you know, a couple of them are quite higher, magic. So, not super hard to gain, but a low XP rate kind of warrants it to be like, I don't think it's on crafting, I want to say. I think it does sit in hard for now. Maybe harder, but I think I might put it in harder, you know, because the time, like, it must take so much time. Because there's not many people with 99. I guess there's 4. But still, I think there's just so much time. I'm gonna put it back in hard. We'll leave it for hard for now. It's not hard, but time it takes to get that up. Because I think I'm like 73 at my mage tank, and I know that took like some time. But again, that was like 1 to 2k per hour XP. On the firemaking, another skill I haven't really touched at all, but it seems to kind of like the opposite, the bottle thing again, like the bottle upside down, so it's kind of slow at the start, and then it just speeds up. I think the XP kind of goes quite up pretty quickly. I'm going to kind of reference over here. There's 4, I didn't even realize, so there's 499 firemakers, but then like, again, it's like, what's the point of like, it's like another one of those things. It's like, well, once you get like the quest requirement, like what's the point of fire making? I mean, well, your overall to boost that up. But yeah, I mean, you can see here 70 to get onto the scoreboard, and I kind of wonder if anyone's been going like crazy on fire making. So in a day, the claw has gotten how much XP? So that tells me, now I don't know how many hours it is. And Decor is a grinder, so I mean, that to me kind of puts it down here though. I think easier is a fair spot. Now, it's not like a very desirable skill to do. I know you gotta cut trees or whatever. But then I guess it drops on the ground, so you can kind of just tinderbox on the ground. I don't know the XP rate at all per hour. I'm assuming it's around like the 40k mark at like the kind of like the 90 plus scene. I think easier is fair. Once again, I would love to kind of just revisit this in like a year once I start to sort of get my teeth into other skills and then be like, what was I thinking? But we'll keep that there. Next, we have fishing, and by the way, I do love these icons that Aspinall, if I'm saying your name right, created for the XP tracker. They're quite neat. really like them. Anywho, so the fishing skill. Now, fishing, I kind of want to relate it to mining in a way. You are spamming. Want to think about it. So you are spamming in a spot. Then if you're kind of harpooning, you got to like right click. And I don't think the XP rate's quite high unless you're doing like a power fishing thing. With and whatever. But I don't, because it's not AFKable. You gotta click. You gotta keep clicking. So I think it is. The XP rate's probably maybe if you're not doing trout or whatever. I believe the XP rate's quite similar maybe to the combat skills here, but due to the fact that it's not AFKable, I think it kind of warrants this position here. I think, yeah, that's fair. Like, I don't think it's on crafting level, but just because you're like, you're clicking, you're not clicking to 99 with clicking. You are clicking the whole time. So, and do I put it in front of the? You know, I think I might do that. Just because maybe combat trainers are going to be like, oh, what are you doing? Like, HP takes way longer. But the AFK stuff kind of like, I don't know, like I don't put a lot of value in AFK training. I give some value to the time spent, of course. You've got to, I guess, stay logged in for 5 minutes and eat food every maybe couple minutes, but I mean, aside from that, like, I mean, you can AFK in the wildy and kind of be left. I don't know. I think, yeah, fishing. I think fish. I kind of almost want to do that. Yeah, because I don't think it's fair because you are clicking the whole time. Like, for example, like, I could be way off, but this is like, I don't know, 50 million clicks to 99 versus like, I don't know, maybe a million click. Like, it's just like, it's not in the same atmosphere, I guess, in a sense. I'm more happier with that. And then again, like crafting, because it's just like, I don't know, like the resources needed and stuff. Where fishing, it's kind of just there. You just got to go like balls to the wall and just go for it. So the next one we got here is fletching. Yes, fletching, I want to say. The fletching, another one that I have like never done before, but it instantly goes into easiest just for the fact that the prototype darts, you can basically do 99 in a single day and have some change to go to sleep. Like, that's how fast that skill is. Now, if you don't believe me, has anyone done any fletching? So yeah, there you go. This is for one day. So for hike, is it throw hike? Anyways, 2.7 million XP in a day. You know what he's doing. Prototype darts. And if you don't know what that is, because I've never done it, I believe it's like the tourist trap quest. And I think part of the quest you got to make a dart. And I believe, I don't know like the exact method, but you basically, the XP for it is insane. Is quite clicky, I guess. You got to sleep often because the fatigue thing kind of hits you pretty quickly. But God, the XP, like nothing beats it. One of the 99 people, where are we? Fletching. There it is. Okay. So we got 4 99s in fletching. And I'm pretty sure every single one of these did the prototype dart. Freaky's just doing his 98 thing. But yeah, it's a very easy skill. This player here in particular, Rhodesia, Sorry if I didn't say that correctly. I believe she did 11 million XP in one day, and this was like prior to like some type of update where it was harder, I guess. So if it's easier since the 11 million XP that she gained in a day, like this should be like a couple of categories down. Now, if we disregard the prototype start thing, it may land a spot maybe up here, I want to say, maybe an easy. But because purely to the prototype dart, like, it's there, and I think it's there alone. Like, nothing comes close, I think. So we got Herblore next. Now this one is another one of those skills that no one seems to be anywhere close to the top of 99 or even the realm of 90s. Again, another skill you don't really need it. You don't need it like a high level. It's more just the overall skill thing, which is very important to be on that page there on overall. But yeah, Freaky's killing it at 84, but it definitely goes up here above crafting. The resources you have to get for the herb, and then the secondary, and then filling up piles of water, like it is just to sum it up, a pain in the ass. But it's a pretty cool flex if you're freaky and you're sitting there with 84 Herblore. That's a pretty big flex. Like even being up in this like 70 plus region, that's still like, but I don't know like the maths or anything or the XP rates, but just gathering the resources, because it's not just did you kill them? For example, like to find the resources for the herbs, you're not always going to get a herb drop. Often the mobs that are farmed for it do drop herbs, but they're not dropping them every time. They're dropping runes and all sorts of things. And then you got to go find a secondary. Like the other day I PK'd someone getting white berries in the wildy. So I kind of ruined them for the day for like 5 minutes or whatever. But yeah, and then I think maybe filling the waters might be the biggest pain. But yeah, it's a big flex skill, I think, if you have it high. But yeah, it's definitely hardest so far in this. Moving on to magic here. Now, magic is one of those skills where it is, I guess, very clicky. You can get into a bit of a routine. My magic level is 87 at the moment on Doer. I did it through like casting curse just kind of passively while I was killing gnomes. But the XP rate wasn't like super high. And you can like speed it up if you want to be more productive, do curse and weakness on the gnomes, or on any monster that you're killing that doesn't evade you. As we found out with another mate of mine, he was doing that with jungle spiders, but then the jungle spiders would invade, and then you would know which one ran away, and then of course you can't cast a spell on them again. So that was fun to. I mean, I guess it's a no-brainer, but it was just fun. I was like, oh well, that's not so effective, the invading mobs. But with that said, there's so many methods for magic. Like you've got a lot of people that do superheating, a high elk. People like buy a lot of mine runes, and then they think it's the biggest mistake in the world because like I am not gonna blow through 100k mine runes, and then they try and sell it. Yeah, it's funny because you see it all the time. Actually, I'm guilty of doing the same thing. I bought like 50k mine runes, and I definitely didn't go down that route. I probably did like, I don't know, like 5k or something. But I was like, no, this isn't fun, so I gave it in too. So I guess it's kind of like a debate, because you kind of like Wikipedia these things, and like, oh yeah, I'll just do it for like 2 mil cash. Like I'll get 2 mil cash and get 99 magic, and it never kind of works out that way. Because now I can't remember the XP for like a wind strike or whatever it is, a fire strike if you're doing that. But it is quite low and quite spammy. But I think like the route that I did, like the curse in the weekend or just the curse alone, it's kind of like nice. You just click the gnome, they come and attack you, you do it while you attack the gnome, and come back and do it again a couple seconds later. Superheating's pretty popular, as I said, so I think we had our first 99 actually. Wappa got 99 magic. I mean, there was a 99 magic person before, but they were banned, so I guess it doesn't really count. But yeah, Wappa did that via the superheat, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those people up there in the top 10 or so have done superheating. I want to say, I think Bob Evans there has actually been doing a lot of KBD. I don't know if he's doing like god spells and stuff. I know he's got a big blood rune stack, so but he's been killing it. I think he's been doing a lot of XP lately on the magic scene. The land's up there actually for the last day, but I'm pretty sure Bob's been doing something. I don't want to search endlessly for this, but I remember him saying, yeah, there you go. Like, so Bob's doing 3, like that's a lot of XP in a day. I want to say, like, back to our page. By the way, there's been so many great updates on this, but this video isn't about the Champions Guild. But if you want to get on it, the XP track here, championsguild.fi. So magic, we are enough talking about the magic. I think it goes there, and actually firemaking goes up. So I don't know, and I'm not expert in like the firemaking thing, but I've seen a few like people get 500k plus magic XP in the day, and I'm guessing if you were to have an infinite amount of bloods, you could just sit there and cast charge. I'm assuming that'd be the highest XP rate. I don't know what that looks like. Is it like 1 million XP in a day? Maybe, but if people are getting 500k magic XP in the day by doing like lesser XP spells, it has to be an easy. Like, it is clicky, but yeah, again, it speeds right up once you get up there. So yeah, it can't be an easy. It has to be an easier. It's definitely not an easiest. Fletching is. I think Fletching needs to go down a couple if we had the sections for it. On to my favorite skill, the mining. Now, mining is one of those really fun ones that everyone should do, and I hope everyone partakes in some mining at some stage. It is a fun skill. I did touch on a lot of mining stuff in my 99 mining party video, but I think it does. Now, this is a very biased opinion, but I think it is in the harder skill category because I want to say it's probably, I think it's lesser to fishing though. Because fishing, you are spam clicking. You're not getting like this 7-8 hits, whatever, from a pickaxe. So that kind of gives you like the batching for the mining, which fishing doesn't really have. I think the XP rates can be quite similar if you're doing like the highest routes, like power mining iron, power fishing trout. I think they're similar rates. So I think because mining has batching with the pickaxe, I guess it kind of is a lesser skill. We don't need to look at the mining things, but we're going to do it anyways. As you can see here, Zua is in 99 with almost 3 billion. And then you got 02 there, but 599s. And I mean, yeah, look at it. Like almost the first page, it's like all like a 90 and above just about. So there's a lot of rune for miners out there. But yeah, and it's not AFKable. Like you've got to put the time in. And I think, and maybe even in the favor of mining that goes against fishing, you're not having, like in fishing, you don't have to fight for spots. Where mining, you kind of do, but you don't really, because if you mine the same ore, it's not too bad. But I mean, I've done enough in mining to know that there's a whole meta game to the whole fighting for ores, especially in the mining guild, or I guess any sort of competitive, like popular mining spot. Like that's a whole thing in itself. So, do you rank mining above fishing? I think the batching still is like a big factor with the pickaxe. So, I'm gonna. I mean, as much as I love mining, I'm not gonna put it above fishing. Still, I think fishing with the more clicks warrants a little bit higher position there. And I guess if you break this thing down, like when I'm looking at these tables, obviously, like if you've ever looked at a tier chart, like I don't know how to explain this the best, but I guess hardest, like I have herb there, or like whatever skill that does eventually become there. That would be the hardest, and then herb, and then crafting, in that kind of particular order. Fishing, mining. That's kind of how I look at it. Anywho, so we have the hardest skill. Speaking of the devil, next prayer. So that instantly, just like I had Fletching go to easiest, would instantly be the hardest skill, I believe, in RuneScape Classic of all time. There is no debate about it. That is the hardest skill. Now, you may say, well, you could buy the bones, but yeah, no one's selling that many bones. Like, it's the same for kind of like smithing in a way when we get to that. Like, you can kind of categorize, like, well, it's not like you just got to cook the bones, but you got to get the bones. Now, of course, herb and crafting, there's a lot more, I guess, gathering aspects to it. But I guess, prayer is gathering as well, if you're not buying it. And I guess you could buy the other resources, the other skills, so I guess that kind of points mute. But yeah, prayer, it speaks for itself. You look at the high scores for it, I mean, 61 to get on the front page, are you kidding me? Like, yeah. It may even need like its own thing again. Like, I don't know if anything kind of comes close to that. But yeah, there you go. So prayer is definitely, in my eyes, I haven't done much of it. I think my highest prayer level is like 20, I want to say like 24, 25. Like, it ain't high, but I know, because I've been kind of dabbling, like asking questions about it from other players. Not dabbling personally myself, but yeah, I guess anyone that kind of looks at prayer knows what they're getting into. It's like, what is the XP per like bone, like normal bone? Is it like 3 or something? Like, you want to flex? Get that prayer up, boy. Ooh. Next we have range. Now, I don't really know range too well. It looks like, if you do put the hours in, you could probably get up to like 200k. I think I've seen a couple of times on here in a day. So with 200k in a day, now I don't know how many hours it is, but it's one of those skills that's not very popular, which actually is surprising to me. Because, yeah, I mean, like, no one's 99 range yet. This guy here, the Finnish, I know Jolt corrected me on this, and I've been calling it the Finnish cabbage, but it isn't cabbage, is it? I can't remember what you put. Was it kale? The Finnish kale? We'll go with that for now. I know he's been kind of hammering up them levels, so he may get that 99 first because Fred isn't actively playing or anything, but we'll see. I mean, that's still like a good 6-7 mil to go, so we'll see. I guess people are quick to judge these upper echelon levels because it's still a big mountain to climb. Like, I mean, you're not even halfway there, bud, but like that's a solid effort, I think, because there's not a lot of like ranges happening. Like 76 to get on the high scores, to me, for a skill is like how much effort does it take to, like, are we talking like, is that a month of ranging? I don't really know. I guess you can kind of paint a picture here. 100k or 100 113k a day, you do that for like a month, I guess you're kind of up here, right? Do that every day. So with that said, It isn't AFKable. I don't think it's in this category here. So I guess it's kind of batching in a way. You just click, like for example, you click a guard dog and then you go away. The XP I think is higher than X. Well, of course it's higher than Hitpoints. It's kind of AFKable. I think the XP rate's kind of high. I wouldn't put it in the fishing. Do I put it in the fishing mining? I think I might have to. I don't think it, yeah, I mean, it's in that order, of course, but I don't, yeah. Because I don't think it's fair to put it in the same as this. Even though this takes a lot of time. Does it go there? I think I'm having a really hard time with this one. I think we put it there. Just because there isn't any 99s. It seems like the XP can be quite high per hour or per day. Maybe because like melee is just so much more popular to train, and like I guess ranging is more of like a group paying thing. I don't really know if a lot of people are ranging to farm mobs. I guess maybe some are. Yeah, range could either be harder or hard. Just because I guess a lot of people doing it. Maybe getting the arrows is hard, but then yeah. See, that's a big question mark. I've never really dived into range at all. So I could be like way off on that, but I'm kind of just going off of what the boards are telling me. Now we're getting into smithing next, so a skill I am actively training in, and I can tell you after doing 51k steel bars smelted in the last, I want to say just under 2 weeks, it's not like taxing, I guess, if you're, you know. I know a lot of people like to kind of do different skills every other day, but you get it into like a rhythm. It's not too bad. And then of course once you have the bars, then it's just kind of like GG's, right? You just get plenty of XP, and a lot of people obviously superheat, not do the furnace stuff like I'm doing. But I think smithing, just because the mass amount of resources you need, like we're talking a lot. Like I have 470k coal and just under the iron ores needed, with 235k iron ore needed for 99 smithing. I can tell you that takes a lot of time to get, and if you do the buying route, which obviously would be quicker, you got to find the buyers. It's I guess quite a competitive market to be buying the resources, so I don't think it overtakes, because obviously people aim for higher smithing because it's like, if crafting had like something you needed at 99, maybe that may be more popular, but because smithing is kind of useful all the way to the max level, where crafting is just overall skill total. Same for herb and fair, I guess, effectively. But yeah, I think it's fair to put mining there at 4th, but it's still like in the hardest. It would not be justified putting it in harder at all. Just because, yeah, it takes a lot of time. So yeah, I think they're like kind of like your top 4. Maybe prayer could be, as I said before, and a thing higher. Anywho, so we're moving on to thieving. I don't know much about thieving, but I think the XP rate, to be wrong, is around like that 30 to 40k per hour once you get in the higher levels. Now, I know a lot of people say this is, I guess it's up to your own interpretation of the skill, because some people go, oh, I really just like, I guess in a way with like agility. I think it might even go there. Because then, 'cause I guess like getting into combat every time could be annoying to some. Some it kind of not doesn't bother them as much. I know a lot of people say, oh, I'll take my hat off to anyone that does 99 thieving. I've seen that comment a few times. I don't know. I think thieving isn't too bad. Like I farmed like Nat chest for 5 days on my ult. Did like 5k nature runes in the 5 days, just like as a third account, just kind of casually getting nature runes, and that wasn't too bad. It wasn't like a whole bunch of XP, but if you're doing like a max efficiency thing, I'm thinking like 30 to 40k XP per hour. And it's not AFKable like melee skills there, but yeah, I think because of the XP per hour, it kind of makes it a little easier, I want to say. And I do want to say, because you do get more usefulness out of that than like an agility, because you get like runes and obviously GP while you're thieving heroes and paladins and stuff. So I think that's fair to put it there just because of the fact of the XP rate. And I think the time spent too, because the strength, attack, and defense kind of, I mean, realistically, I think takes double the amount of time to level up. But I think that's fair. Maybe some of you thieving people out there may disagree, but I think that's fair. And we come to our lucky last skill, woodcutting. Now, for a fun fact, my actual very first RuneScape 99 back in the day was woodcutting. I haven't really touched woodcutting these days as of yet. And I did achieve that early days of RuneScape 2, so not in RuneScape Classic, so I don't know what the dealio is in this space. But it does seem to be quite high if we reference back to our Champions Guild here. Where are we? So Whiskey Jack doing some hours. I mean, and I've seen him in the mining game, so he actually is a bit of a grinder. He is a guy I think to watch out for. But yeah, I mean that to me would be like a 10-hour grind day. And if you can gain that much, yeah, I mean. And I think I think maybe Christoph or someone said to me, like, woodcutting is quite high. Maybe it was Bob Evans. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I do believe they did say you can probably get around that 30 to 40k per hour. Based off of that, it's got to be like, I want to say like, yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm just kind of visualizing everything for a second there. But yeah, I think everything there is kind of how I would imagine it to be. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you hanging 10 for this one and watching me go through the skills. It was quite hard, actually, harder than I thought, based off of little information of knowledge of the other skills. But this is what Zur thinks is the hardest to easiest skill in RuneScape Classic. Thanks for watching. See you later.